All right, we've got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, to start with, this is a compilation from Paul Oglesby from one of his sky watches, a C5s, where he goes and invites these beings to come in, and they do. And he gets a range of different sorts of UFOs, from fast-moving objects like we just saw to steadier, longer lasting UFOs. So, great stuff from Paul Oglesby. Thank you for sharing that, Paul. I'm going to sit here and appreciate it with my nice new bag of Beyond Black coffee. The sweet taste of UFO disclosure. Now, I'm not being sponsored by Beyond Black, but this is Mike Herrera, UFO whistleblower, Michael Herrera's new coffee company, Beyond Black Coffee, where every bag of coffee you buy goes to support financially UFO whistleblowers being able to come forward, even when they lose their jobs and they need travel expenses for going to Washington to testify and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's a really great thing that Michael is doing to support UFO whistleblowers coming out. And I wanted to show my love and my support by buying a bag of coffee, and you guys can too. Again, I am not being sponsored by Mike, although I do think that would be an amazing sponsorship. Meanwhile, the new administrator of NASA says he wants the alien briefing. He wants to know about UFOs.
Tulsi Gabbard this week talked about the fact that aliens could be real and she might want to declassify a few things. Now, all I can tell you is what I know, Duffy. We know the drones are not from New Jersey because they've been using their blinkers. Now what?
Well, first off, Jimmy, saw the drones. The drones are real, right? I don't think we had the accoutrements in position to actually see what that was. But
okay.
I didn't say what. I just want to be really clear. I haven't had the alien briefing yet, but I've asked for it.
Okay.
So I can't comment on it. And I can't wait to come back and talk about the highly classified information on your show. I'm getting this briefing. And by the way, I'm kidding.
Ha 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 ha. As if. Yeah. So what do you think he will do after he gets the alien briefing? Will he suddenly clam up? You won't even be able to spell UFO. Yeah, UFO. How do you spell it? I think that's what's going to happen. He's totally going to clam up. At least he's not going to be able to reveal anything. NASA has been hiding this stuff forever. They have been working lockstep with UFO Control Group. They are part of the UFO Control Group. Has been made abundantly clear over the years, sadly. And it's just such a shame, because they are sending rockets into space. People have died, obviously, and that was totally unnecessary when they may very well have access to technology that can get them into space safely. So real shame. Meanwhile, Cliff High is talking about moon men.
Sure. It's not a planetoid that came here by accident. Everything has a meaning in this universe. There are no accidents and there's no coincidence, but that fucker was moved here. All right. And it is a device, but it's a big fucking device. And there are people or beings that live on it. And the moon in Greek is Selene, right? Named after the goddess. And so the people who live on the moon are Selenites. In whatever form of people they are. I have a tendency to think that the Selenites, the residents of the moon, include some remnant or residue of the Elohim, maybe their caretaker group that they left. It may be that the Elohim moved further out into the solar system and are only communicating to their caretaker group, which might not even be their own species, via electronic means, via just communication. I don't think that necessarily any of the Elohim are actually on the moon. But we know that there is a multi-millions of beings living on the moon as Selenites right now. We don't know what their species is. If the government knows, they're not telling us. But we know that they're up there and they're doing shit.
Okay, they're up there and they're doing shit. All right, well, let me know if you think Cliff is right. I've seen so much evidence over the years that the moon is really anomalous. and that indeed there may be beings there, or at least that they visit there. I don't know if Cliff is on the money about the Elohim and stuff, but the moon is fascinating. And I think that if we could understand what is going on the moon, then we probably understand a lot of what is actually going on with the UFO phenomenon. Now, it's really interesting that Cliff calls the moon beings Selenites. In his Twitter handle or X handle is Cliff is anti-Selenite. So he is against the moon people. All right. Interesting. All right. We have to talk a little bit more about Eric Burleson in his amazing spaces that he did. Here he is talking about, well, you'll find out.
The goal is to figure out a way to take what we learn in a classified setting and disclose it without jeopardizing national security. So we're going, like, if I walk out of the room and suddenly I say, look, folks, I can't tell you what I saw or what I heard, but my worldview is totally changed. Those are the kind of things that that I think that we can at the very least do. But I also think that what we can do is try to press the system and figure out any ways that we can to kind of to let information get out. Because I think that the intelligence community wants disclosure to happen. They just want to do it in such a way that nobody goes to jail. Really.
Okay, well, that's interesting, Eric. He seems like he might be satisfied if he's able to come out of a skiff and tell us that his worldview has been changed. I wouldn't be satisfied by that. We need to know what he learned in the skiff. We need to know what the UFOs are doing. We need to know what the UFO control group is doing. We need public oversight of these black programs that have been doing God knows what. And we do have some idea what all these years. And we probably need to put an end to a lot of that. And if the UFO control group is indeed working with beings as they seem to do, we may have to, we need to review any agreements that we have with any beings and maybe renegotiate. I don't think what has been going on has necessarily been great, some of it. And certainly what the human powers that be have been doing don't seem to have been great either. So public oversight, a complete overhaul of the UFO control group is what we need. But baby steps, I understand baby steps, but we do need UFO disclosure, not saying your worldview has been changed. Well, what do you think about amnesty? Because he talks here about nobody going to jail. The intelligence community might be on board with some measure of UFO disclosure if nobody goes to jail. Now, amnesty is such a tricky issue, and I don't know if that's what he's specifically talking about or not. He may simply be saying they want to reveal some information in a way that nobody gets hurt, where they don't. But a lot of people have been talking about amnesty lately. And the UFO control group, from the research I've seen, they've done a lot of shady stuff that really can't be forgiven. It's just, it's really hard to do that. At the same time, I think a lot of these crimes are still going on. And I think that amnesty, if it came with public oversight, it would have to come with public oversight of these programs. Full amnesty in exchange for public oversight of these programs would be the quickest way to end the current criminality, the things that are still going on that the UFO control group is doing. So that's kind of where my stance is right now. They've done horrible things. They're still doing horrible things, and we need to end that. And unfortunately, I think the quickest way to end that is amnesty, as awful as that would be and as unpalatable as that would be. But hey, that's just my take. Let me know what your take is in the comments below. Meanwhile, Jaime Masan is sharing another metallic orbs, Buga type spheres, or a sphere. Look at that, way up high. Yeah, multiple of them. Is that one? Maybe that's just a light on the ground. But yeah, is that a balloon? It looks way too high to me to be a balloon. But let me know what you guys think. Is that a balloon? What are we looking at here? Daytime sighting of something from a plane. I don't think that a balloon would be up that high, but I'm no balloon expert. If you guys are balloon experts, let me know. It looks like a very good solid sighting to me of something anomalous. Looks like another Buga type sphere, maybe larger than the Buga sphere, or the other spheres that we're seeing in that area. But hey, let me know what you think. These things are seen frequently. I mean, that's one of the most common types of UFO that gets seen. Here's another one shared by Wixie. A metallic sphere over my hometown of Bris Vegas, Australia. So this is Wixie's hometown. Got Buga spheres or Buga type spheres. And this was real recently on August 17th. Another gorgeous daytime sighting of whatever that is. Are these human operated? Are these alien? What are they? All right. Very cool, Wixie. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. All right, but we've got to talk about Skinwalker Ranch because it's been an amazing season over at Skinwalker Ranch. Melissa Best is talking about it, and she actually got Brandon Fugel to answer back about it. She says, Skinwalker Ranch has receipts, contracts, OSAP, and years of claims. What it doesn't have yet is reproducible data. I'm digging in for a receipts first feature on the ranch and what a real pre-registered RF study of the 1.6 gigahertz anomaly would take, because that's a common feature among the incidents at Skinwalker Ranch is this 1 gigahertz signal, which is fascinating and supposed to be, Earth space-based communications, reserved for that. And they get that repeated over and over again at Skinwalker Ranch. Well, Brandon Fugel replies, firing back about the reproducible data, saying we have an abundance of reproducible data with our investigation at the ranch. This includes our chief scientist, Eric Bard, replicating the documented smartphone manipulation utilizing focused electromagnetic devices, along with GPS anomalies, LiDAR observations, and other. Yeah, and that's great, and I'm sure that's true. But I do think that some sort of public study of the data could be really helpful for UFO disclosure. I don't know what would be involved in that, what's proprietary and what's not, but it's an interesting idea. They have been getting fascinating evidence and information this year. They're studying this weird energy bubble or sphere around the area of the triangle, testing it and probing it in different ways and getting, again, fascinating information on this giant sphere that goes way in the air, up high in the air, hundreds of feet high. It even goes below ground as well from the evidence they've gathered. So that's interesting. Is that, a portal? Is there, what's going on there? Another amazing thing that happened this season was they have recovered from the mesa what looks like a piece of ceramic or several pieces of ceramic, but it's actually some sort of high technological device. It's self-healing. It has properties of a superconductor at room temperature, which is, impossible from our understanding of science. It's just this fascinating, potentially alien piece of technology. But is it alien? Because they recovered a coin from the 1960s within the mound that might indicate an archaeological dig from that era, because apparently that's a common thing in archaeology is you put a coin from the year that the dig was done, so that if you come back to that spot when it was when it was studied. So the reason I'm sharing this page from Melissa Best is that she has, a history of the ranch based on the years. And in the 1960s, the Myers family era, that was before the Shermans, or the Gormans, as George Knapp calls them, took over. The Myers, Kenneth and Edith Myers, owned the ranch for 60 years. Public records show they lived quietly with no circus, though neighbors occasionally whispered about lights in the basin. Well, they would at Skinwalker Ranch in the Uintah Basin. But yeah, so has Skinwalker Ranch been the subject of an archaeological dig decades ago, back when, nobody, outside of the Uintah Basin was aware of this really intriguing place? And did they find anything? Did they take anything out? Could the answers to Skinwalker Ranch be in, some university somewhere, or secreted away in the Smithsonian? Who studied this? Hopefully, the Skinwalker Ranch team will be able to find out who was digging on the mesa decades ago, if indeed that actually did happen. What did they make of this crazy alien material that they're finding in the mesa? What is that material? Is it part of a craft, the larger structure that they think might be in the mesa? That's, scans are showing something is in that mesa. What is it? And was it found before? Man, just super, super intriguing. If you're not watching Skinwalker Ranch, you're missing a great season. So I highly encourage everybody to go check that out. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it there for the moment. Let's see. We'll end on this. This is what it looks like when turtles meet. We get music. Okay, sorry. All right, check it out, guys. We've got turtles in like a circle, having like a conclave, like a town hall meeting. What's going on here, guys? This is crazy. Is this what a turtle family reunion looks like? What the heck is up with this? Are they doing, is it a coven? Is it a turtle coven? They're doing magic rituals, turtle magic. What's happening here? Is this just a normal thing with the turtles? Let me know what you think about these amazing turtles and everything else covered today in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.